When I was a teenager, I knew I couldn't go to the police. I knew that I'd gone into a house of my own free will with someone I thought I could trust. He was an older man, but at the same time I knew the police would just be like, what are you here for? Because they wouldn't have believed me. They weren't there to protect me. They'd have been like, you're a silly 16-year-old girl and you went into his house, so you knew what you were doing. You're old enough, so therefore you knew what you were doing. I could never have gone to the police. And I knew that then. When I was raped again at 17, pretty clear I couldn't go to the police, because this is the second time now. Obviously this is a me problem. It's not them. It must be something to do with me. I didn't report to the police for a really long time, knowing that the system wouldn't protect you and that you wouldn't be believed is really hard to carry, and it's inside of you. But honestly, this week, watching a judge tell two young girls that their attackers needed protecting from the justice system more than they did, I felt like that teenager again. I just thought, it's like we've just gone completely backwards. Throughout most of my teenage years, I experienced various forms of sexual abuse and assault by different men, and more than once. And nobody has ever been charged. Because when I did eventually go to the police, I was encouraged not to pursue it. Thames Valley Police were supposed to pass information on to Greater Manchester Police, and I was told that Greater Manchester Police would call me. I lived in fear. Everything that happened was running back through my head. And you know what? That call never arrived. Greater Manchester Police never rang me. I don't even know whether Thames Valley Police contacted them. But I was busy bringing up my daughter. I didn't really want to have to try and deal with an investigation and a court case, because I know it's horrific to go through that. And I didn't have someone to support me or support my daughter while I would be unable to support her. So I didn't push it, but the police weren't interested anyway. I've sat with that for decades, knowing that the men that abused me have, without any doubt, gone on and abused other girls and women. But you can't do things on your own. Like, literally, I can't put the abusers into prison. As my daughter got older, I realised there was no services in Reading, and I campaigned with others to get services to support men, women and children affected by sexual abuse or rape. The nearest sexual assault referral centre at that time was in Slough, and that was too far. That wasn't good enough. I remember taking someone there and she was distraught, and it was so difficult driving to Slough with someone who has been raped. She was wanting to turn back, then she's wanting to fight it and do it, but like, it was horrific. But we campaigned and we presented to the council, we got celebrities involved, we got the press involved, we got Reading Borough Council involved, and we won. We gained a rape and sexual abuse centre in Reading called Trust House, and it's still there supporting survivors, but it's not enough. I knew at the time that it was a massive step, but you know, it's great. Men, women and children can now get support locally, where before there was none. We shouldn't need centres to support people after they've been raped and sexually abused. It shouldn't be happening in the first place. There's a deeper problem, and just as I knew there was a deeper problem then, it's still there now. Someone's only going to go to a support centre if they believe it's going to work, if they believe it's going to help, if they believe that coming forward is worth something. And what really needs to happen is that abuse needs to never happen in the first place. There needs to be more prevention. And what happens this week makes that belief so hard. 3 teenage boys were convicted of attacking 2 schoolgirls in Hampshire in 2 separate incidents. One was in November 2024 and the other in January 2025. One girl was 15 and she was talked into joining the boys via Snapchat to a riverside underpass. They assaulted her while they were laughing and filming it. They took turns recording each other. The second girl was 14 and she was attacked repeatedly in a field near a recreation ground. And that was filmed too. And they shared the footage between each other. There were 11 convictions between the 3 boys. They were sentenced on the 21st of May this year, 2026. Judge Nicholas Rowland gave all 3 youth rehabilitation orders. Youth rehabilitation orders. No prison. He told them, and these words are hard to hear, none of you need to go to prison today. He praised their good behaviour during the trial, and he said, I should avoid criminalising these children unnecessarily. These children who raped 2 other children. Nobody in that courtroom seemed quite as concerned about what was happening to them. Can you imagine hearing that? Going through the ordeal they went through anyway, and then to go through the investigation, being nothing short of interrogated really, and then going through the trial. One of the victims attended the sentencing behind a screen, and she read her own impact statement out loud to the court. Afterwards, she said that the sentence hit her like a rock straight in her face. She said the judge made it almost seem like what the boys did was not okay, but that it was okay in the eyes of the law because they were still children. And she asked, what was the point in putting me through all that? I don't even have an answer. I've been asking a version of that question to myself for most of my adult life. Because while the judge was looking at avoiding criminalising the boys, those girls have been victimised by those same boys, traumatised. Maybe there's even other girls, and there's no amount of counselling will stop them feeling the effects of rape. It will help them, but it can't take away everything. Believe me, once you've really understood how unsafe the world is, there's no counselling in the world that's going to make you feel safe again. Today, on one of the hottest days of the year, I couldn't leave my house. It took me until 6 p.m. to jump in the shower. And that's the result of seeing this case and the judge's comments, reminding me why the world is so unsafe. Sometimes it feels like the justice system is just a boys' club. This wasn't an isolated incident. He's made decisions like this before. Judge Rowland has previously given a community order to a convicted sex offender found with extreme pornography. He gave less than 2 years to a drug driver who killed a cyclist. He gave suspended sentences to thieves who stole over £76,000 of jewellery. There are now petitions on change.org calling for him to be investigated and removed from future cases. I'm going to put those links in the description and please do sign them. But I want to be honest with you because I don't want to give false hope. In England and Wales, a judge cannot be removed simply because the public or politicians disagree with a sentencing decision. Judicial independence is protected by law, so the complaint system can only deal with personal misconduct, not legal decisions. So a judge can't be sacked for a sentence, however unjust it feels. What can happen, and what is happening right now, is the Unduly Lenient Sentence scheme. I want you to take notes of this because here you can make a change, hopefully. Attorney General has received multiple requests to refer this case to the Court of Appeal, and he's got up to 28 days to decide. And if he refers it, the Court of Appeal can increase those sentences. Now, that process is live right now, hopefully as you're watching it. And so anyone can ask the Attorney General to review a sentence. I'm going to put that link in the description below this video too. So if your anger needs to go somewhere, send it there. Only 2.1% of reported sexual assaults in England and Wales result in a conviction. Let me say that another way. Out of every 100 people who report, fewer than 3 will see the person who harmed them convicted of anything. Reports have nearly doubled in the last decade, but convictions have barely moved. The CPS charging rate has dropped from 7.5% in 2016 to 3.1% today. 84% of people who experience sexual assaults do not report it to the police at all. I was one of them for years because I already knew what the system would do. It would turn me inside out and upside down for nothing. But the system isn't broken. For a system to be broken, it needs to have been whole once. And this system has never been whole. It was built for men. This system was built in a world that didn't believe women and girls. And it's not yet caught up with one that kind of does. Does it? Honestly, like the helplessness, the rage that's got nowhere to go, the wondering, why do we keep fighting when the ground just keeps shifting beneath us? When you feel like it's just gone from, we thought we were getting somewhere, to, no, that it's like an April Fool's joke. Just talking about my own experience earlier on to a reporter, I sat here shaking. I've not left the house on a beautiful day. It's been over 30 years and it can still affect me massively. It even affects the day-to-day. I've been single for most of my life. What I've been through still affects me, and the men that caused that have never been charged, except actually one of them has been charged twice for other women, but the police weren't interested in looking at what he did to me. He might be a neighbour, and I don't know who else is one of my neighbours who may have done similar to someone else like me, or maybe he's doing it now. When you hear these reports, it just shakes your world up again, because it just reminds you how unsafe the world can be. Your local street has got offenders on it. Please contact your MP, ask them specifically what are they doing about a 2.1% conviction rate. Support the Centre for Women's Justice, the rape crisis centres and women's centres all over the country. These organisations are doing daily work that the system refuses to do. And if you've got a story that you haven't shared, maybe you've never said it out loud, you're not alone. And you were never alone. I see you. I know you're there. And I've been you. And some days I really feel it. Please subscribe. I'm going to put everything in the description. Since losing my daughter, I've decided to write everything down, everything I've been through, how grief has affected me, and how I've managed to still keep showing up. And I'd like you to be part of it from the beginning. Join me on my journey, and as I also meet others on their journey. So subscribe, come with me. Everything will be on Beacons AI. Junaid Shines. It's in the link, it's in the bio. Thank you for sitting with me today, and take gentle care of yourself. I'm going to go eat some takeaway and try and de-stress, light a few smelly candles and put the weighted blanket on me, and try and remember that I'm safe right now. Thank you again for sitting with me.